Hello, beloved and beautiful ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. And if you wonder about that strange title, stick around to the end. I'm going to give you a special message about this historic, never-before shift for the entire population from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness. So this is pretty exciting. But first, we're going to do a reaction. You guys gave me this one, Novia Bachmid, This Mountain. So let's check it out, see what she's got.
Climbing up this mountain, climbing up to eyes, hoping that I'll make it this time, but I'm so damn with hoping. It's hoping, it's do failing, it's do falling down this mountain, falling down again, boom, boom, heartbeat still beating, in the end I'm choking. But this is what they wanted, they're the soul off the ground, and I shake it out, ra-da-da, come look at.
I mean, doesn't she have a beautiful resonance to her voice, huh? That's beautiful resonance. Let's start it again and hear it again. Resonance, like meaning like as a singer, like the, you know, how it just resonates, you know, just like it's not just flat. It's got all this richness to it. It's kind of a richness.
Climbing up this mountain, climbing up to eyes, hoping that I'll make it this time, but I'm so damn with hoping. It's hoping, it's do failing, it's do falling down this mountain, falling down again, boom, boom, heartbeat still beating, in the end I'm choking. But this is what they wanted, they're the soul off the ground, and I shake it out, ra-da-da, come look at me now, look at me now. I'm not here to talk, I'm not here to talk, I'm just here to walk to walk. I'm gonna make it up this mountain, make it to the top, show them what I made of, show them what I've got. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. So mark my words before you swallow yours. I'm gonna make it up this mountain, make it to the top, show them what I made of, show them what I've got. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. So mark my words before you swallow yours, just like a pill.
I mean, I think like they're talking about the mountain, that climbing the mountain to success. I guess as a singer, I'm thinking maybe you guys can put it in the comments if you know for sure. But that's what I'm getting out of it.
Started as a question, started as a vague. When I found I'm not the only one that is my bag, I'm drowning. Cause the film I lose is venom in the sharks. I'm coming out and they're hungry now. Ra-da-da, sharks, I'm coming out. I'll put them down. You ready? I'm gonna make it up this mountain, make it to the top, show them what I made of, show
That was cute, that little "you ready" thing.
them what I've got. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. So mark my words before you swallow yours. I'm gonna make it up this mountain, make it to the top, show them what I'm made of, show them what I've got. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. So mark my words before you swallow yours, just like a pill. Hey, before you swallow, you're just like a pill. Hey, before you swallow, you're just like a pill. So much more words before you swallow yours.
Beautiful, huh? Let's go back and hear that. That's beautiful. Let's go. Just changed the whole thing up there in that moment. Did you notice that?
Before you swallow, you're just like a pill. So much more words before you swallow yours. I'm gonna make it up this mountain, make it to the top, show them what I made of, show them what I've got. I will, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. So mark my words before you swallow yours. I'm gonna make it up this
So she is definitely very special, very special. I like her beautiful voice. I like how she, really invests herself in the song, almost like she's, just like caressing that microphone. And then she changes it up from that kind of beady thing to, that pretty sounding lyrical. That's what I say, like the lyrical, change to a lyrical style at the end. That was just really, really beautiful, really sweet. So I enjoyed that a lot. It's about, that struggle to make it. And we've got a lot of our ego and identity invested in making it. Like if we make it, we feel like we're kind of accepted by the world, which is a little bit nutty. It's a third dimensional thing. So if you think of it like on my scale, 1 being very third dimensional, fear, pain, sadness, anger, struggle, and 10 being very fifth dimensional, love, peace, joy, bliss. Like she's reaching for a mountaintop. She's reaching for a success, which is a good thing. That's a kind of a higher vibrational thing. But the need to like be successful, in that sense, like it seems like she has a lot of herself invested in, I need to be successful this way. I'm going to make it because I just have to make it, So that's not so very higher dimensional, like you don't need to prove anything to anybody in the higher dimensions. Nothing. You just be you. You just do you. You just love what you do. You just sing for the sheer joy of it. That's what that is. So with that in mind, I think on my scale 1 to 10, third dimensional or fifth dimensional, I would go with about a 6 on this. 6.5. Go 6.5. And it sounds beautiful too, by the way. It's really lovely. And if you had to talk about how well she did it, you'd be off the scale, because she did a great job. But yes, very much enjoyed it. By the way, if you'd like to know a little bit about me, you can go to the About Me video on this channel, which leads you to a longer video if you so desire, or you can go to the link in the notes about Lorelei on Patreon, my page there. And also, by the way, folks, I am creating a new membership thing where you can become a member, and I'm doing this because our hands are tied here as YouTubers, right, to give you all the things you request. Because if you have one single video that doesn't do well, then all the other videos after it, YouTube does not push out, which really stinks. So it makes it hard. So in my membership thing, I'm going to do lots of things. I'm going to have like runs where I'll give you a certain artist for several songs, and I'll give you special content that you don't get from anywhere else. I'm going to have like maybe 3 tiers, and I'm going to also give you content that will uplift you, meditations and all kinds of things. So make sure when I come out with this that you take a look and see if you'd like to do that and see what tier you'd like to be on. So maybe I'll sing a song for you myself now and again. Yeah, so that should be fun. And also, by the way, if you would like to buy me a coffee or super thanks, I think that's supposed to be on my videos. Tell me if it is. Put a comment below because I'm not seeing it. Tell me where you find it. So, but if you like to support me in any way like that, I'm appreciative of that. But now let's get to our fifth dimensional message. What is the Mandela Effect? And how does that relate to the fifth dimensional consciousness as well? So there was this very strange thing that happened a while back. I think it was somewhere around the early 2000s when suddenly they talked about Nelson Mandela coming out of jail. Well, that was a wonderful thing, and everybody celebrated and was very happy, except that there were a number of people that were like, coming out of jail? He died. He already died. What are you talking about? And I was one of those people, by the way. And there was whole tons and tons of people that said, what do you mean he's coming out of jail? He's dead. And we knew he was dead, and we saw that he was dead, right? And then there was these tons of people. He never died. What are you talking about? What are you, crazy? What are you, nuts? Are you crazy? So it became this like thing, like one side saying one thing, the other side saying another thing. Now then, after that, people started to notice some other really interesting things. Like, for instance, Jiffy peanut butter. Now, I say it's Jiffy peanut butter. I always knew it as Jiffy peanut butter. But a whole lot of people say it's Jif peanut butter. And right now, on their jar of peanut butter, I'm pretty sure it says Jif. Right? It does not say Jiffy. But I grew up knowing it to be Jiffy. And a lot of people grew up knowing it to be Jiffy. And all these other people, they seem to think it was always Jif. So now there it is again, right? There's another strange one like that. There was this thing in the Bible the lion shall lay down with the lamb, which I remember, the lion shall lay down with the lamb. Suddenly, half the population was saying, no, you dummy, it's the wolf shall lay down with the lamb. Not the lion, the wolf shall lay down with the lamb. So there we go again. No. The people saying it's the lion, the people saying it's the wolf. There was a whole lot of these things, like for instance, Luke, I am your father from Star Wars. Now they say, it's no, I am your father. We are clear. It was Luke, I am your father. Others are clear. It is no, I am your father. From Snow White, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Oh, wait a minute. No, it's magic mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. Not mirror, mirror, magic mirror. What? And people are very, very 100%, 1,000% sure. Each side is 1,000% sure. Right? that this is what happened. What is that one I always do with my sister? Okay, so now you guys can tell me if this is a Mandela or if it is what, because I remember this from Saturday Night Live as football been very good to me. Football been very good to me. And this, my sister remembers it as baseball. Baseball been very good to me. Baseball been very good to me. So which one is it? Tell us in the comments. Is it football or baseball? And if I see people thinking both ways, then I think it's the Mandela Effect. But I'm not sure at this point. It might just be my memory going nutty. So, it's like crazy, this craziness. So what do we make of all this? How could we possibly figure this thing out? Well, come to find out of this thing that they call timelines. And what's a timeline? Let's in a nutshell say that a timeline is the path that we are on, right? If we're on a certain path, right, and we're going this way, but then we change and we go over here, now we're on a different timeline. And maybe that might be a higher timeline, like a better one for us. But if we change suddenly, we go back over here, now we're on another timeline, and that might be a worse one for us. And now we might be back to one that's sort of in the middle, so our timelines are constantly changing. And then there's this concept of timelines, not just for the individual, but for the entire collective of humanity. What timeline are you on? Are we on at any given time? So are we on a timeline that leads to, for instance, Trump being the president, or maybe it's Biden being the president, or maybe it's JFK is assassinated or he's not assassinated, right? Different timelines. Mandela passes away or he doesn't pass away. Different timelines. Different things happen that would cause Jif to be called Jiffy. Maybe the guy who originally named it wasn't a member of the board of directors, so he didn't have a chance to, raise his hand and say Jiffy instead of Jif, and then everybody else said Jif, right? All these strange things that, in other words, when you think of what path we're on, and if that path changes drastically, then it would need to change. It would change a lot of things. It's kind of like that concept of going back into the past, and then it totally changes the future. So if you shift a timeline where the population is headed in a certain direction, and suddenly you shift it over to another direction, some things are going to change. Some things are going to change because you couldn't get to that other direction if things didn't go a different way. Things had to go a different way. Certain things that would have had to go a different way. So you have to shift over to that direction. And we don't know the minutiae of it all, right? What would cause Jiffy to change to Jif? Like I said, what would cause lion to change to wolf? We don't know the minutiae. But if we changed our timeline for the population, then these things would change. And now what would happen? As we understand it, this is just from a lot of information coming from different areas and different higher consciousness beings and so on, is that there would need to be a sort of, if you shift a timeline, you need to shift the memories that people have. You have to sort of drop into the consciousness. Now this is by agreement. The collective agrees in their sleep state or whatever. I know it sounds crazy, but listen up, right? Just wait. The collective agrees that they will have it go the other way, and now they sort of allow you to drop into their consciousness a different thing happening than had happened before, right? So that Mandela is now alive, because we needed him to be alive for whatever reason, to go forward on the higher timeline. He was a great guy, so of course we wanted him alive. So we drop that in there and into the consciousness of the people, and they all get, okay, Mandela is alive, he never died, and that becomes their new memory, if you will. Well, what about the people that don't get it? Well, we don't exactly know, but we think it could be something like they didn't get the memo. They missed the memo. Maybe the night that this was all done, everybody's in a dream state. Maybe they were out partying to the wee hours of the night, right? Or maybe they are traveling, like if they're a being that like travels in their dream state, around. Maybe they weren't there and they weren't able to get that shift. They weren't able to get that change. That's kind of me and some of my friends. We travel around the galaxy in our dreams, we believe, and pretty sure of it, right? Again, hold tight. I know it sounds crazy, but what possibly else could explain this crazy happening? Like half the population, right? How could we explain it unless there's some kind of new memories going on, being given to people in some way, like some new memories. And some people just didn't get the memo. They just didn't get the upgrade. They didn't get Windows 11. Not yet. Maybe they'll get it down the line, right? So, and I don't think it's half the population. I think it's just there's a pocket of people. I think the rest of the population will get the new sort of idea or memory. And there's a pocket of the population that is quite sure that it is, Luke, I am your father. And I'm quite sure of that. I'm positive of that one, right? Oh my goodness. So, or maybe they forgot to give us a change up there. Maybe when they were doing all the whatever they do to reprogram, and they got everything, they got the chip, and they got the Mandela, they got the the mirror and all that. They got the whole business there, but they just forgot, Luke, I am your father. I don't know how many of us really think it's Luke, I am your father, and who thinks it's no, I am your father, or something like that. So what do you remember that? Put it in the comments. I want to see your comments. I want to know what Mandela effects you've come across. Put them in the comments. Okay, beloved ones. So that's what we got. So that's how that relates to the fifth dimensional consciousness. Is obviously we had to change our timeline. If we were not on the timeline to get to 5D, we had to change our timeline. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, I don't know how many, to get ourselves over on the path to 3D. I'm 5D, sorry, on the path to 5D. So there could have been many times we had to have our memories shifted a bit as the collective to go over to the fifth dimensional consciousness. By the way, as I understand it, we have all agreed as the collective to be on the path to 5D, and that's what we're doing. And some individuals may not feel it's time for them to go to 5D, but they still agreed that as the collective, everyone agreed as the collective, the whole population is going to the fifth dimension. And some of them, as individuals, may or may not go with us as they choose, right? Their third dimensional free will is still intact. So, and their higher self will to do what is best for them for their learning journey and their spiritual journey is also intact. So, okay, beloved ones, I'm sending you that beautiful fifth dimensional energy, the love, the peace, the joy, the bliss. I want to see all your comments on this. Okay, sending it to you now. Here we come. Namaste. I honor the God in you.